What's up, y'all? Shook here, back with another video on the Holy Paladin, doing some 3v3 with Plum on his Windwalker and Sorgol on his Enhancement Shaman. These games are from week 3 of the War Within Season 3. We were trying to unlock our weapons this week, and this was one of the earlier games that we played, because we haven't done much 3v3 this season, so it was one of the earlier placement games. I think we're at like 1900 MMR, but you're going to see here in a second the MMR of our opponents, and I'll go ahead and throw up on the screen some of their rankings. These are multi-rank 1 players, so this is kind of a rough placement game to get here. And you know, we always showcase, you know, really good opponents on the channel, but this match in particular was really interesting. It has a crazy ending. I won't spoil it, so I'm just gonna kind of commentate, and then you'll see at the end just how crazy this match ends up being. So I have already burned my dwarf racial on the strangulate, which you want to do pretty much every single time, and they have already got my bubble on top of that, so they are doing huge damage. I was debating on whether I needed to swap beacon to me, but they were just kind of cleaving everybody, so I ended up not swapping it. And I'm going to go ahead and hodge the Preservation of Ogre. It was a little bit DR'd. He does get me in that full stun, which is really unfortunate. You can see them doing damage to Sorgol. I've already used Magic Bop. It's going to be really difficult to cast Tears Deliverance, but I am going to get away here for a second and actually cast it. It looks like Sorgol is running that way. We were not in Discord for these games, so I was trying to get back to him. I didn't have any way to call out to him to tell him where I was at. I am going to use my shield here, and I realize that I'm in trouble, so I go ahead and pop Divine, or Lay on Hands there, and I'm able to stabilize for just a second. We don't have Trinket or anything for this one. Plum is trying to peel me the best that he can. I'm just kind of running till Wings comes back up. I thought I had an Infusion proc there, which is why I started casting Flash of Light. I did not have the Infusion proc though, and I actually don't have my precog gem yet on this Holy Paladin. I did get it after this session, but it would have been really helpful in these games. So right here, I'm pretty much completely out of outs. You can see Sorgol pops Ascendance. We are chunking them. They end up taking me down, and then we get the cross kill with their Preservation of Ogre. It goes to a 2v2. Plum pops Brew, and he is able to take out the Death Knight. So then it comes to a 1v1 Enhancement Shaman versus Demon Hunter. And Sorgol has his wall still. He pops his wall. You can see he's getting chunked by the Demon Hunter. It's kind of funny looking at all of us just on the ground here. Nobody's released. Everybody's just kind of watching. Sorgol uses his Thunderstorm. It looks like he pops Ascendance. The Demon Hunter stuns him on it, and then he cages him, kind of just trying to recover and wait it out. He uses his I-beam to go back into meta. Sorgol pulls him off with the totem, and then he hexes him. That was a really good hex. Got his trinket, and you can see Sorgol's able to heal quite a bit, and he does end up taking him down. So kind of a crazy first game for this session. We did end up climbing on this session up to about 2100 MMR. But even then, those guys were, you know, right at 2300 MMR, and this is the 3rd week of the season with no inflation. So those were some really good players. This next one is against a mage and a shadow priest and a holy paladin. I went ahead and tossed my hodge on the priest there. That's not normally what I want to do. I normally want to hodge the paladin almost immediately, like he's going to do to me here. It looks like they are going to get the polymorph on me, and Sorgol pops his wall. So I'm kind of in an awkward position. Do have wings available. I'm going to go ahead and pop wings, and we are getting a ton of pressure here. It looks like we get disperse, and he's trying to repoly. I'm going to go ahead and go for the hodge. It's a full hodge on him. And I'm trying to cast Searing Glare, but he already blocked, so wasted Searing Glare there. I'm going to run over here to just try and get to a pillar so I don't eat too much CC. I'm having to sit here. I might want to dispel Sorgol out of this stun, but I decide not to. I am going to toss the Blessing of Summer on him instead of me, just for reduced grounding. You can see he's going to use it right there. It's going to reduce the cooldown of that grounding and some of his other damage cooldowns. Debatable on whether I should have just gone ahead and put it on me, because I had already used Hand of Sacrifice, and it helps with a lot of those kind of major cooldowns. So honestly, that probably could have been a blunder. I was just kind of thinking more damage with his ascendants and stuff like that, but looks like we do get them caught in the capstun. I'm running up here. We get the second block, and at the moment we are winning on mana, but he is also playing the Lightsmith build, so he doesn't really have to worry about mana too much. And we have pretty much burned through both of his holy armaments. Looks like he got one proc there. He has them both up right now. And we are actually able to take down the mage with big burst there. So kind of surprising that we were able to take him down through the armament, but I just don't think he was ever able to get him back up above the 40% mark for it to do the tether. So that's kind of one of the pitfalls of that build if you're not ever able to pick someone up back up. And this was the match that actually got me my weapons on the alt Paladin here. This next match is against an Arcane Mage and an Affliction Warlock and a Resto Shaman. Another kind of tough match where I kind of have to just hug the pillar and run back and forth. There's going to be a lot of spread damage, and Plum and Sorgol are actually going to split. I don't know whether this was intended or not. Like I said, we weren't in Discord, but it ended up working out pretty well just because they're able to kind of win the 1v1 against both these things. And it also kind of makes it awkward for the Resto Shaman to heal because he can only put Earth Shield on one of the targets. So normally we focus on one target and just kind of go for them, but this actually worked out in this scenario. I'm going to run over here, Hodge the Resto Shaman, go for the Repent. It looked like the mage was going to stop me, but he just missed, so we did get the Resto Shaman's trinket. He is going to hex me. I need to be running towards Sorgol to get him to dispel me, but he was in the polymorph, so now I'm just trying to run towards Plum to make sure I'm in his line for when I come out of the hex. And it looks like Sorgol is rooted, but he's doing a little bit of ranged damage here, and I'm just trying to pick up Plum before I get CC'd again. I am going to go ahead and burn my bubble here because there's the haunt and a bunch of damage. You can see me dispel immediately when I go into the bubble. Now he's trying to fear Plum. I'm trying to run back to the pillar here. Can't really dispel him out of that fear without the unstable affliction damage. They are really pumping a lot of damage into Plum. I do have the Blessing of Spell Wording available. I'm going to go ahead and use it and then cast Tears Deliverance over here while he's in that spell wording. So he's basically completely immune. I'm going to try and dodge this fear here just by hugging the pillar. And it looks like Plum has quite a bit of damage coming out. We're kind of tied on mana, which is a little bit surprising considering we haven't really been hitting the Resto Shaman. And so his Water Shield is just kind of giving him that passive mana. It looks like they're going to get the fear on me. I wasn't able to run quick enough around the pillar there, so I get feared out in the open and into a hex. So I'm trying to run towards Sorgol so he can dispel me. It looks like we have stabilized here at the moment. Just again, Affliction Warlock is going to have a lot of spread pressure, and as long as you can, I don't know, just spread your heals out, it's kind of a It's a little bit better on this healer than a lot of other healers just because I have double beacon. I actually thought that fear was going to break, so that was probably a bad trinket. That was kind of a panic trinket because I was expecting it to break and I was like waiting, and then it never did. So kind of unfortunate. And another one of those things where if we were in Discord, I can just call out when I want Trimmer. It's just, I don't know, one of those things where you're going to have that happen if you're not in comms. Looks like we are getting a bunch of damage on the mage here. He doesn't have many more defensives. I was trying to fake cast there, but he ended up getting me before, and I'm running towards Sorgol, just hopping like a frog, trying to get him to dispel, but they do take down the mage, so it does all work out. It looks like he is going to use grounding there to kind of help Plum. I'm going to get lightning lassoed, but this warlock can't win the 2v1, so we are going to stabilize and take down the warlock. This next one is an affliction warlock and an assassination rogue. Another comp that I think honestly looks pretty fun. Like I would play this on my assassination rogue or my affliction warlock. It just seems like it would be a really fun comp. I also think that like Unholy Decay and Affliction Warlock or Unholy Decay and Assassination Rogue would be really fun this season. I feel like it would have like a ton of spread pressure. You could even have a Preservation Evoker with it for the roar. But This is going to be a lot of spread pressure here, so I'm just going to be waiting for that mark, and there it is. It looks like it is on Plum. I was kind of hesitating to match there, but I probably should have hit my cooldowns a little bit sooner. I do go ahead and use Blessing of Protection. It looks like there's the pain suppression. It looks like Plum is going to go ahead and use his karma as well, because they are just doing, you know, crazy damage. You can see Plum is also doing just a ton of damage on his Windwalker. I'm trying to kind of stabilize, because this is their major cooldowns, so if we do live through this, we should have the advantage. He does come over here and blind me. I am going to trinket the blind, and then I actually go ahead and bubble as well, so that's something that I don't normally want to happen, but I didn't think he was going to have the foresight to just re-CC me immediately. So I'm going to run over here, cast Tears Deliverance, and I am trying to stabilize everybody. Looks like we get the end cap. I'm throwing out a Judgment. Going to go ahead and Hodge the Warlock. Let the Priest decide if he wants to dispel him. Sorgol immediately trimmers me out of that fear. That was a really good trimmer. And I'm just kind of, again, throwing out Judgments. They don't have that much pressure now. We still have Lay on Hands. If they decide to go me, I still have my Dwarf Racial if I need to get out of a Mark for Death or a Garrote Silence or something like that. Looks like he's trying to build up combo points on me. It looks like he threw out Pain Suppression on the Rogue here, and I think he meant to throw it out on the Warlock, and we do end up taking the Warlock down. But yeah, these were some pretty fun games. It's interesting to see the MMR difference at this point in the season versus last season. Hopefully there's going to be a little bit more inflation this season. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. If you are new here, be sure to drop a like, subscribe, helps me out a ton, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.